We'll do it live.
Let's go.
Let's
All right.
do it.
Recording in progress.
And welcome to the Monday Night Master Debaters. We are ready to go tonight, fellas. We are down one member. Ryan, unfortunately, will not be here tonight. He's got some family stuff he's taking care of, but we are going to carry the torch anyway. And we have my man Chris from the Rained Out Rantcast. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
Thanks for joining us.
Hell yeah.
And we got my boys from It's a Hard Rock Life, Kevin and Brian. What's up, fellas?
Hey,
Howdy.
what's up? Fuck, I was expecting to talk to
guys?
Ryan too. I got to email him.
Yeah, unfortunately, his dad's having some medical procedure done, so he's
Oh.
tied up with that. So
Sending my best.
God bless him.
yes,
Sending all of it.
we all do. So let's get to business, man. I mean, it's Monday. This week is, last week, I don't know about you guys. Last week was a shit show on my end. It just felt like everything was going chaotic. And then to end the week, we start with a fake alien fucking invasion.
That comes from, right before that, a whistleblower disclosure.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. The slow
Who
leak
has
of-
never seen anything but pictures and words on papers.
Yeah, what was that man's
That's what's
name?
crazy is this guy is someone who looks for, alien craft and shit through Arrow.
Yeah.
And then he's never actually seen one. But they're running with that whistleblower, and then alien craft, a blue beam, shoots across the fucking sky.
Is that the same guy that was saying that we have in fact recovered like alien pilots and the downed ships that they also have? Is that the same?
The one that the dead pilots.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yep. He basically soft disclosed their interdimensional demons, just like Alex Jones said, which means there is no space, right? But other than that, I can't believe anything. Interdimensional demons coming to suck the blood of children. But yeah, that whistleblower thing. I watched it this morning. I wish I would have watched it before my show last night, and then tore it apart last night with the alien thing. Because anybody believing this shit?
What are the chances, Chris? The whistleblower and that thing happen within 24 hours.
The odds.
I
They're
mean,
amazing.
and they're warming us up for this shit, right? I mean, they've been playing this card for decades now.
Yeah.
This whole alien invasion. We all know anybody that has any sort of knowledge of this shit knows about Project Bluebeam. So it's just a matter.
And it was a blue beam that shot across the sky. This is the Jussie Smollett of fucking conspiracy right now.
Yes.
And it's very disappointing when I see people in the community post this shit. Like, it's like, yo, check out this Ring doorbell video where this little girl's like, this is actual Ring doorbell. Like, no shit. It's supposed to be 10 foot tall. A doorbell's about 4 foot in the air. The doorbell's looking down at the alien. I don't know if he's door dashing or what the fuck he was doing, and then they had that. Did you see the video of the alien crouched down in the back? And then they put the audio over it. And it's like, for one, the date's done wrong. Two, it's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
That's fucking retarded.
Before we were using Monday Dot.
The space is faking gay is great, but I'm getting to the point where aliens and UFOs are faking gay. Like, I'm so over it. It's like, do we know
if space is gay and fake, then so's the aliens.
Yeah, because we know they have craft that we don't know about, obviously. I mean, that's a given. And that's
they show us they can vibrate things and levitate things. And I mean, they just like the disclosure a couple months ago with the NBA, where now it's pretty much sealed the deal, because I was on the fence about no planes on 9/11, but then the NBA released that fucking thing where they can track anybody on a live game. So you can just go be LeBron James. Someone just scans you with your cell phone, and then you go be LeBron James in a live game, live tracking with no green screen, nothing, in real time. There's no planes.
And what do they say? They say what we see is usually 30 to 40 years behind, and that would line up You know,
it would line up great. And what they give us is almost what it looked like then, because it's still kind of bulky looking and chunky, but in the real world, I mean, like with the Tom Green deep fake that they showed on TikTok, I think is where that thing popped up. I don't know if you guys any of you guys seen that, but
No.
they had popped up with like 2 videos of Tom. Did I say Tom Green?
Yeah.
yeah.
God damn it. I thought I did that last time,
I
but
was thinking
I
about
said
his
it right. Tom
testicular
Cruise.
video.
It's Tom Cruise.
Yes,
It's a deep
I've
fake
seen
Tom
that
Cruise.
one. I've seen that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
And that I thought, they were just showing off the tracking and how amazing it could, because he kept doing things in front of his face.
Yeah.
And nah, the whole thing's AI. All of it's digitally rendered,
Yeah.
flawless. Right? They're showing us how flawless the AI really is, and then giving us some shit bias programmed crap.
Yeah, the
Because
truth.
the company that is behind deep fake Tom Cruise is an AI company.
Sure.
So then it's
yeah.
like, oh shit, the whole thing's AI. The background, the body, the people walking around, the fucking everything. It's all fake.
Yeah, it's all AI. And that's what we're getting to. We're getting to the point where you can't tell whether something is real or if it's AI. I mean,
Yep.
there's small little things like in pictures, they still haven't got the hands down. That's
They
one
do.
tell.
That's what I'm saying is they're giving
the
us
retarded version.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can really like now, and then it's causing this every fucking picture that pops up, you're checking, like one of the Obama kids, adopted kids, were their birthday was the other day, and Mike was like, yo, look at was it Sasha? I don't know what the fuck her name is, but had a picture of Michelle. Ah, fuck, I called her Mike, right? Now you're gonna get canceled. I'm gonna get canceled now. But anyways, so it had them. Will be politically them, right? Because they're trans. Sitting there holding the little Sasha, and the hand is blurry. There's motion going on, but it's just still weird, even in that motion, the way Michelle's hand looks. And someone said it was the baby's hand, but I'm looking more at her hand, or its hand, or whatever, because it's very clear. And it just the way it's set up. And this is supposed to be what, 20 years old? She's 20 something years old now. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Because now they can just do that. Someone tried to post that picture of Michelle Obama pregnant. Right? I don't know if you guys seen that. Immediately you look and the hands are almost perfect, but you can see there's like a line with a 6th pinky thing going on.
Oh, no kidding.
And it's like, oh, yep. It's like, damn, that was close. It was like the Trump thing too. Remember when Trump, the first indictment, when AI, those AI pictures were coming out of him being arrested, and being drug away, and they looked like there's like, wow. And then you kind of look and you see there's a hand in there that's all fucked up, and then one of their legs are backwards.
I don't search out the evidence, but I know it's definitely in the cards, given the background that we got going on right now. It's Pride Month. Guys, when are we getting months for the other 7 deadly sins? Am I right? But
sure.
Fucking, it would be the biggest sell ever. First woman president, then comes out a man for Pride,
Yeah.
Imagine.
And then it'd make it Pride Year.
Pride life.
Yeah.
Pride for life.
Living under the
I
the
came out
rainbow
on
prison.
TikTok as a proud lesbian. I've known this for 30
That's awesome.
years.
Congratulations.
And I came out as a proud lesbian on TikTok, and they banned me.
You're a handsome dyke.
Well, did you guys see? Well, last week we had on Kirby Sneed, who's a pitcher for the
yes.
Oakland
for
A's.
the A's.
Yes, dude. Yes. Please
He
keep
was
going.
saying, he's like, I can't say what I really want to say on social media because I wake up tomorrow by 10 a.m.
You get fired.
I'm out of job. Well, sure as shit, it happened with one of the Blue Jays pitchers this week.
Yep.
Fucking blue gays.
And he got canned over what they called anti-LGBT propaganda, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, it's all bullshit. You know,
Yes.
like the video, and actually here, I'll play you guys the video that he got kicked off for. Now tell me if
Here's the reason
if this shit is anti-LGBTQ plus.
I made TikTok put my video back up.
Did you?
Yeah, I tweeted him and said, "Who the fuck are you to tell me I'm not a lesbian man of color?"
That's right.
Yeah, you're
That's
right. You're like that mayor that
Who the
came out.
fuck are you?
So listen
And
to this.
They put it back up.
This is
That's
what
awesome.
he got fired for.
why I believe Christians ought to be boycotting Target and Bud Light and any other corporation that's pushing the things they're pushing. I think a lot of people make this into a political issue, or they say, oh, what's the big deal? If, is it really going to make that big of a difference if I'm shopping there or not shopping there? Here's what the Bible says. It tells us what to do as Christians in Ephesians chapter 5. It says this: take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful to even talk of the things that they do in secret. So what does that mean to take no part? Well, what's Target do? It's a business. They make money. They sell things. And to take part in that is to take part in that God of mammon that they're serving, and to take part in the darkness that they're purveying and getting out to the world and shoving into children's faces. And to take part in that is to give them your money. And I believe the Bible gives us radical precedent to say, no, we are running from that, and to instead expose those things, to shout it to all the people that have ears to hear that this is evil, this is demonic. We won't stand for it. We're not going to go to the stores anymore, and we're not going to give them our money. We're going to let our voice be heard so that people can see the light, and so that people can be pulled out of the darkness. Here's the
That's it. That's what he got
Wow.
fired for
Well,
posting that.
For preaching.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what, dude? It goes beyond
Well,
Christianity.
they're
though.
arresting people preaching now. There was the video in New York, guy standing on a street, he's preaching.
Yeah.
They're calling for like the persecution of Christians, Catholics, because for one, we're going to become a one world religion. The Pope already announced that 3 years ago.
Exactly.
And the new temple opens here this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, I can't remember what, Christ Muslim or some shit.
Chrislam, yeah.
Chrislam, that's what it is. It's
Yep.
like Crisco oil and other.
It goes
fructose
beyond
corn.
it goes beyond Christianity too, though. I mean, because people just have to realize that they're being sold something. This isn't anything anybody would truly back in their own right, because nobody really gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
You do whatever you do behind closed doors, do it in front of me. I don't give a fuck. But I understand he's a strong Christian, and I get that, and you're bringing Christian values into it, but really it's a moral, human, common sense thing that everybody should realize, hey, we're being sold this fake bill of goods, and people are eating this shit up, and it's fucking gross.
Yep. Well, this
Well,
chick
did you
nails
guys-
it. This is probably the best take on it that I heard about this whole bullshit. So listen to this chick.
Well for some people and not sit well for others. I hate Pride Month. And not because I care about who you want to love, but because I'm sick of the corporate pandering. I'm sick of seeing all-age drag shows where bearded men wrapped in fishnets and BDSM outfits are grinding their man bulges into the faces of children. I am sick of society pushing children to transition. I am tired of men dressing up as women to victimize other women in sports, public restrooms, locker rooms, and life. We have pride flags painted on our sidewalks. They're flying from our embassies. They're hanging in our schools. And yet a group that claims to be so deeply marginalized has an entire month dedicated to one of the 7 deadly sins. And I'm supposed to tolerate it? What once was a call for people to just mind their business and love who they want to love has turned into a campaign to force people, regardless of religious beliefs, to accept a certain way of life that they don't want to accept, and a trend to destroy childhood innocence in an attempt to validate sick adults, and I want no part of it. The only rainbow I celebrate is God's promise, and the only pride I want to have is the pride for my country.
Yeah, that is perfect. Yeah. Well said.
Because it's not even so much the pride and stuff that they're pushing. It's the unnatural.
Right.
They're trying to destroy natural law. And you're seeing it in
And the individual,
but you're seeing it in the medical world with the transhumanism push, with Neuralink, with the jabs, things like that. They want to take away the natural way of life, the natural laws of life, and put in this because they want to play God, right? In the end, and the bottom line is they want to be able to act like they can create, live forever, do all this unnatural shit. And it's all synthetic. It's all fake.
Yeah, and him, talking about
Deuteronomy.
Yeah, Deuteronomy. It's more like we're in Revelations.
Yeah.
If you want to play the Bible stuff, they're attempting to fulfill Revelations, whether you believe in the Bible or not. They're out in the open, don't give a fuck. I mean, to the point where, like, dude, the Lockheed Martin video. Have you guys seen that one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, at the parade.
God damn it! Yeah.
Here, I'll pull that up. Yeah,
had one. Oh, I got it right here that I
Got
made.
it?
I made one, because I got to share sound, right?
Well, dude, you just said
Yes.
something that really resonates to me as well, and I'm sure to plenty of other people too. But
Slow down.
Oh, right.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, no, yeah, I mean, even just what you just said too, like, it doesn't. I mean, with whether you're a Christian or not. Fuck, I just lost my train of thought because of that beautiful song.
Whether you're Christian or not, it doesn't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And yeah, no, keep going. I just, yep, that completely.
They want to destroy, like Matt's saying, the natural self.
Well, you said
this is what David Icke talks about.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, trying to sell somebody the idea, like you were saying, like trying to sell somebody the idea, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're just trying to sell it to you.
It's gay for profit,
and they're trying to make it happen. Like, yeah, whether you believe in the Book of Revelations or not, they are making it happen.
Yeah, because we're to the point, where everything's been brought to light. This community cannot shine brighter lights on the shit, to their friends, to their family, to people they don't even fucking know. There's millions of fucking podcast shows, fucking, not only that, just them themselves. I mean, like, this video right here, they're carrying, this is paid for by Lockheed Martin.
The DoD.
Sponsored by.
The
paid for.
Department of Defense.
Now, tell me how many of those.
The war machine. They're
fucking Warhawks, dude.
How many of those people know what Lockheed Martin is?
Probably none of them. I would hope none of them. I mean, holy shit, that is ignorant.
They don't give a shit as long as it's gay.
Exactly.
Gay for bombs, gay for war.
Yep.
Exactly. And think about it, though. How oxymoronical is that? Because they're supposed to be so liberal and so anti-war and everything, but they're supporting, they are part of the machine, and they don't even realize. It's like going back to BLM, right? These people didn't realize that they were just being used, that they were never going to get a meeting with the president. They were never going to do anything. Once the election was over, boom, the fairy dust came over them and they disappeared. They don't understand that they're tools in the machine. I go through this every day. I mean, like I was talking with you guys beforehand, I live in a small ass town in Western Massachusetts. Every fucking Monday, there's a dozen people that stand on the one streetlight in town on the four corners holding up, end racism, stop police brutality, whatever the current theme is they're trying to push. They're out there holding signs, and it's like, you fucking idiots don't even realize you are puppets for the machine. You're doing exactly what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And it's gotten to a point of insanity where, like Chris, you were saying, I mean, we've shed every light. I mean, they've done it to themselves. They've exposed themselves up, down, and sideways, literally and figuratively.
Like Hillary Clinton, she comes out, Trump gets indicted, she starts selling hats that say, where's her emails?
Yep.
Or what about her emails?
Yeah.
And gloating about
More like, what
her
about
criminality.
her emails?
And it's like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, Everyone should be fucking fear, even if you're not political.
Yeah.
You should be. You pay taxes.
Having your head in the sand is probably
When
the
they
worst
have
thing
a
you can
fucking
do.
pride thing at the White House, that's paid for with your fucking taxes, and then they take and put the pride flag as the fucking dominant superior flag.
No, they put the trans flag, not even the pride flag. It was the
That's
trans.
right. I mean, they put the fucking they regardless. They put another flag superior to the United States of America's flag, whether you believe in the corporation part or the states part. It's our country, right?
Yeah.
No other fucking country. Like, check this out. Zelensky, or not Zelensky, but Canada just dropped a video about Zelensky coming to Canada just this weekend, right? It's Pride Month, whatever, right? There's not one fucking pride flag. There's not one fucking rainbow. There's not one fucking nothing in that video.
He wouldn't
It's
show up if there
Canadian
was.
flags and he wouldn't. And that's what's
play-
fucking crazy. You see these fights that are happening in bigger cities, right? With the immigrants, right? There in New York, I think it was, there was a fight, or California, a fight broke out at a parent-teacher conference over the sexualization of the kids in the school, and a massive brawl breaks out because it's Arab parents. They got the kids there stomping on pride flags, like, because they're not taking the shit.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, and then what did you do? You open the borders, right? And you know, the immigration thing, Craig Pasta says, fuck, now is it Julian? I can't remember his last name. Anyways, off AM Wake Up says, you know, like the immigration thing, this is by design, you know, because we went down, we have bases in Central America and other parts of the world where we go down, we bomb, we fucking take, we rape, we pillage, we fucking steal everything, and we start pushing everybody up north. We push them up here, and then they start busting them up here, right? Then we have this border crisis going on. Now they're over here, and then they're finding out, oh shit, they're not into this LGBTQ, but that whatever the fuck Trudeau says.
I call it
I need
LGBT.
that as a drop. God
Fuck
damn it!
you.
Well, those immigrants
Because
too.
there's that one where he's like 2G LGBTQ. He says it twice, very fast.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And then the other day, he couldn't even say it once. And then you got Joe Biden, you know, like the thing with our tax money.
With the thing.
Standing
exactly,
up with there
right.
saying they're going to spend our tax money to for gender affirming surgery. And that's the thing. This is a 1984 Newspeak memory hole type thing.
Yeah.
It went from sex change, right, to gender affirming care.
Yep.
We put care on it. It's all psyop. It's all a fucking. It's all. Yeah.
And we can get back to the immigration thing.
That's fucking retarded.
Real quick. We've been sharing this with Andrew for America. He did his entire last episode on this fucking topic where...
Yeah, and that was a great one, by the way. Guys, go check that out. The Punk Rock and Politics podcast.
Hell yeah. Shout out Andrew for America. And it's all started a couple months ago with these videos of these big fucking coach buses crossing the border with immigrants being let on them. And, you know, some of them look sick. Some of them look fit, like military fit. And they're all coming on over on those buses.
Yeah, it's
and then
Trojan horse.
Yeah.
They're gonna.
Well, and
they're
if you
being
think
trained
about it,
in Venezuela, they're being trained in terrorist camps. They're making there was TikTok out there supposedly where one of these dudes was like, "Wear what's coming for you." Like, we're gonna
The
fucking
cartel motherfucker.
don't fucking fall asleep
they
at the bus
They
stop
are
and they'll
cartels.
slit your
that
throat.
cartels
Yeah.
have Ukrainian weapons.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
because
too.
you know CBS was it 60 Minutes, I think it was dropping a piece. They were supposed to drop a piece on Ukraine. They did drop it, but they had to pull like 20 minutes out of it and then redo it because 20 minutes of it, the very beginning of it, is just them talking about it's a general, a U.S. ex-general or something that's over in Ukraine.
Hi.
And he's like, yeah, we've only gotten like maybe 30% of whatever they've sent.
No
It's very
shit.
frustrating. And then they see these old ladies, right, who have like these fucking javelins and shit, and they're out selling them.
yeah. So it's
You know,
it's either going black market or it's going elsewhere in the world. It's a great hide right there.
Man, AT4s are scary
if
too,
that
guys.
many are even made, you know, I mean, like, It's a big money laundering thing for one that's going on. So there's a good percentage of these weapons and things that aren't even in existence. You know, they're not even built. They're not even manufactured. The money's already went through Biden's account and Hunter's account, and they got their cuts, and then it went to fucking FTX, and then they fucking converted it to fucking bitcoins or something, and then they sent it back to Sean Penn, I think, and then he delves it out, like,
and then the weapons end up back in here after the ones that were here are all registered and tracked and banned, and they got locks on them, and they got to have your clip fucking 12 feet away from your firearm in the car and shit or something like that. And, you know,
and now
those guns are going to come back in, and the criminals are going to have them no matter what.
They're going to flip the marijuana thing, right? They're going to make marijuana legal across all the states, so that because it will still, marijuana and firearms together will still be a federal offense. So, and I just found out, this thing that
that's a good
my
point.
brother,
that's a really good
I
point.
say this quite a bit. My brother, he just got out of prison. He was in federal prison for like 7 years, right? Leavenworth, a couple other places. He was in Leavenworth when Whitey was murdered and shit.
Oh,
and,
no kidding.
Yeah. And he had told me, you know, the only like federal federal offenses are treason and I want to say murder. It might be espionage. But it's treason for one. There's only 2 of them that you can get a federal or a felony or whatever. So the rest of the things, everybody's getting actual tax type charges, because then you can get them on these offenses. And then
those guys are carrying guns now, by the way. Those extra FBI agents, those extra IRS agents, I should say, they're all carrying
they're armed
firearms.
Also, non-violent felons can carry guns now, so that's good.
And then
but
back
the
to
tax thing, I had, you know, when you look at the sovereign, you know, state type thing, and like sovereignty and
New Hampshire.
No, well, you know,
like
the
that
United
kind.
States is a corporation, right? The United States is the corporation. The United States of America is not the corporation, right? I can't remember which is which, right? That's why we're in the state we're in, basically. So DC is the corporate headquarters. But when it comes to the tax thing, like, being an American citizen under the United States of America, right, means you're an employee of that dead entity.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you're guaranteed
so
to make them $100,000 during your lifetime nowadays.
So
like
there's the tax thing. Mm-hmm. You're an employee. They're fucking imprisoning you.
Well, you're an SSI number, like, proves that, right?
And it runs under maritime law.
And the SSI thing, like, okay, so everybody's born, they get a Social Security card, they get put into the straw man or whatever, and their debt's there.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, your kids get to a certain age and you get your first job, and what do you fill out? Right? You fill out your W-2.
W-2s or whatever your tax.
So once you fill that out and send it in, boom, you just triggered that you are living, you're at tax-paying age. You're willing to pay those taxes.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's where a major failure, in my opinion, comes. You know, not like teaching our kids to stay away from that, and even like our parents teaching us to stay away. If you never sign out, fill one of those out, the government doesn't even know you exist.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Well, what's the first thing you do? They take your prints and they make you sign a birth certificate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, it's all word magic, and
that's
exactly
you were birthed down your mother's birth canal. You are the ship that carries the capital.
That baby was born. But then it's not until that baby gets to a point that it fills out that W-4 and then triggers to say, oh, it's ready to start paying,
Stab it for hepatitis. It's ready.
Yeah, but it happens at birth, Chris.
Yeah.
At birth.
No, I know.
Yeah.
At birth is when it is, but it doesn't trigger because that baby could die somewhere along there, right? And never pay any.
Yeah, once you
taxes.
show that you're a productive member of society and you're
Yep.
paying
Once you show that you are to the point where you've grown to the point you are productive, you can provide the tax that they're gonna fucking rape from you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, and then at that point, if you never fill that out, the tax man can never come for you.
No. Well, and that's the scheme of the whole maritime law, right?
Mhm.
That's the whole basis of it.
Yeah, like
is-
Brian said, the birth canal, right?
Well,
Yeah,
it starts
well, it's
there.
all,
Through the
and you're born to a doctor. You know, it's everything. Everything in our financial
The Big
system
Bang.
and our medical system is all tied to the sea. It's all tied to water, and it's all related to the maritime. Even
'Cause
the
we're in
court
some
system.
weird oozy water thing. Right.
When the water breaks, huh?
Well, I mean, the Big Bang, the black hole, that's the vagina, that's the penis. You know, in the ejaculation, that's the Big Bang, goes into the black hole, the primordial ooze. You're born, and then you come out in a Big Bang from the darkness to the light. You know, now
Yep.
to the
I
artificial
hate that
light,
show. I
right?
love the blonde's tits though.
Yeah.
Can't argue there.
But-
and then I was gonna say with the weed thing, like to try to walk it back,
Mhm.
like you know, they regulate that. You're saying they legalize it everywhere. Have you been to the dispensary? Have you seen those ingredients that they give to you, all the shit that they spray on them? Like, it's literally just all pesticides. It's going to be worse than cigarettes at one point, like the shit that they add to this pot.
Isn't
Yes,
that true
because
with
they
anything the
don't-
government
these-
touches?
That's
Absolutely.
true. Yeah.
The states don't, these states are trying to limit grows, and like Arkansas. I'm in Arkansas and they already have medicinal, right? And they tried to pass recreational, right? And in the recreational, there was no growing, right? There was no expungement of records. There was no growing. There was no, right? And I kept telling people, no grow, vote no if there's no grow. No grow, vote no, man. Like,
Yeah.
if you can't fucking grow it and they're not going to let people out of fucking jail and shit,
Right.
like, vote no. And I was afraid that there was no way because when it came to the medical, we got ripped off in the medical side because there was two props going at once. And two props going at once. I can't remember the number because they were you know how the voting thing goes. But one of them, it had, you could grow, there was going to be more dispensaries. It was more open and liberal, I guess. The other one was basically a monopoly.
More control.
Right. And
Yeah.
and the other one was a monopoly. And they had the signatures for both. And 3 days in the voting, they come out and said, "Oh, the signatures weren't valid on the one y'all want." So it's been taken off the ballot, but it won't be taken off the ballot. It's still going to be there. Just don't vote on it. And in the Arkansas Constitution, this is what pisses me off, is the ones that were running a thing on that proposition, right? They were like, oh, man, they took it away. Just vote for the other one. Just get us something. Just get us
Yeah.
something. Just get us something. And at that point, it should have been like, vote no. Fucking vote no. Like, I voted no. Like, I voted the same way I was voting before, because if the people would have voted yes on the fucking one that was on the ballot and it would have got the votes needed, there's nothing the Arkansas state could have fucking done, because in the Constitution, once that's on the fucking ballot, that's it. It's on the ballot. You cannot remove an amendment or a bill or anything that's on the ballot once it's on there.
Hear that too,
That's
eh?
under the Arkansas. What's that? Yeah.
I said, hear
Well,
that too,
that's
eh?
under the Arkansas Constitution, and then the monopoly one. So
It always
it's-
does, though, Chris.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, that's how it's
Yeah.
always rigged that way.
Well,
And
they-
that's why
Yeah.
I question all this shit. Because
I think that's
even-
what they're trying to do in Oklahoma. Because Oklahoma twice has failed on the recreational side. The medicinal side kind of
Now
went
it's-
bananas.
think about
So,
how
like-
insane that is, right? We're grown ass adults and we're told what we can and cannot take into our bodies.
We are even
Yeah,
told,
while at
Yeah.
the same time being told what we have to put into our
Have-
body.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
yeah.
We have to take these. We cannot touch the natural herbs on this planet, or mushrooms, anything like that, anything that's natural. but yet they tried to force synthetic on us. Again, it goes back to that whole natural versus synthetic. And I think that's the battle right now is they want us to live in this synthetic world where they can control everything, and the natural laws and the natural ways of life are destroyed.
Well, they hide the truth in plain sight, right? But they manipulate your choices. They manipulate
The illusion of free choice.
Yeah, the illusion of free choice.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the Matrix, isn't it?
Sure.
In a nutshell,
That's
yeah.
the pill part. And, yeah. Technocratic.
I've seen this weird theory from some lady that said Sarah Connor is Neo's mother from the future.
I have her birthday.
Yes, I've seen that.
I saw that, yeah.
That's wild.
She said she wrote something that they ripped off, and she she wrote the original that would have been the Terminator. It's 3 parts.
You mean Linda Hamilton?
The Matrix.
The actress, yeah.
No.
No,
This
there's
is
a
woman
black
who
woman that wrote the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it was on one of your things because you put up good shit on fucking Instagram.
Yeah, I know I put her up there
think.
once because she actually wrote the Matrix and took the Wachowski sisters.
Terminator and the Matrix.
The Wachowski
No
sisters,
shit.
yeah.
Took them
to the odds. The
Yeah.
odds that 2 brothers become motherfuckers in at the same time. Like, what are the fucking odds?
Right,
Well,
exactly.
that's like I can't remember what celebrity it was, but there's
They're like all my kids are gay.
Yeah, there's a famous Jordan Peterson thing on Rogan where he's talking about there's some celebrity who's one of their children, and now granted they're both young children under 10. One of them is trans and the other one is pansexual. And he goes, the odds of that are nearly impossible.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
there's one where the lady's standing there and she goes, well, one's bi, one's trans, one's gay, and one's a lesbian.
Yeah. The odds of that are impossible.
It's like
that makes sense.
It's
in one
but
house.
It's a brainwash. It's a fucking brainwash thing. It's like the way it's in the schools. It's on the TV. It's constantly on the TV. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen that Transformers clip.
The Beast, Rise of the Beast, or whatever.
Man,
No, it's
ruining
some
that
cartoon.
for me.
There's some new cartoon where like this kid's walking around and she's I think it's whatever. She's like talking about being bi, right? And the fucking Transformer is like, I may be bi.
What?
Oh yeah. Well,
And,
that's like
or no, I might be, or I'm non-binary,
Sick.
right? And like, I can't remember who I was talking to. I think they were on the show, and I told them about this, and they were like, "Dude, it's a machine. Like, what do you think it runs on?"
Yep. Well, and that's what
it's programmed binary, and it's telling you that it's non-binary. It's like such the psychological.
It's inversion. Yeah.
Inversion,
It's the whole magic with the K, right? And that's why I brought this up, because everyone's out there, they're like, oh yeah, we beat Bud Light, we're showing them who's boss. And right, so their sales are way down, supposedly. Yet on the other hand, Modelo's sales are way up. And little do people know, they're both part of Anheuser-Busch. So in the end,
exactly.
Anheuser-Busch isn't losing shit in this whole thing. They're actually making out, and everyone thinks they're doing their part because they're not going to drink tranny fluid or whatever. It's like it's just such a mind fuck. And then you start looking at it, and you're like, does this make any sense? Like it's the corporate game, and that's where we are right now. We are there's no longer any sovereignty. It's everything
the marriage
is
of
corporate-owned.
government and companies. Guess
What's that called?
That's called. I think that's an F word. The other F word, if you will.
That is the F word.
Huh. I wish we had a puppet. Fascism. Fascism and technocracy, which brings me to, have you guys, by any chance, seen the last Conspiracy Underground news team, also known as Cunt?
Yes, I have.
It brought up a very unsettling thing. I mean, maybe I'm worrying more than I need to, but this project or Operation Zephyr thing,
Zephyr.
whereas we, meaning the people that are allowed to be on YouTube and Spotify talking shit, the people that they don't ban, we're just like out in the open saying whatever the fuck they want. Well, they got some AI fucking pinging us, pinging the people who like that stuff, and, you know, the people who talk about it, the people who go out and protest. I don't know. Anyway, they can
it's
track them.
honeypotting. It's like a fusion center. They took the fusion center and they put it on the internet. It's kind of like the hashtag thing. You know, the hashtag thing's like real big right now.
Exactly.
And it's like, fuck y'all.
Group
Like,
those
Mouthy
fuckers
Buddha,
together by all
Mouthy-
means, and then you cut the power out. Is how that works. And then during these blackouts, that's when the shit goes down, supposedly. And they said words. This person who's now deceased supposedly had words like elimination. Like they're going out and getting these motherfuckers. And
Yeah, so basically what it is there's supposedly this classified, just for anybody that doesn't know, Project Zephyr, it's ZYPHR. It's classified documents, quote unquote.
They're going to use the IRS to do
that for some reason we can see on the internet right now, by the way. Like, you know what I mean? That we're allowed to see it.
Honeypotting and Zionism.
And they're going to let you, and there's this guy, David Goldberg, who let it out. And
yes,
it was interesting because Ryan couldn't find anything on this guy when he was looking at it. But basically what it is, it's a plan to exterminate millions of Americans.
It's funny that they have a word for it. I've been saying this over and over. They're going to fucking kill us all. They're going to retroact fucking the Restrict Act, and then they're going to come and fucking round us all up with the fucking IRS.
Bingo.
Then, you know.
That's the key is getting that Restrict Act through. They get that Restrict Act through.
This is you.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it had a term for it.
This is fucking everybody listening here. This is you guys they're fucking talking about. The people who want to, like, you know, get into fucking the truth and shit.
It's like, I think I even talked about, maybe I might have talked about this last night, of like, if it were to come down to the military, them turning the military on the people, which in San Francisco, the militaries are already on the ground. And in New York, they're calling for the military on the ground, you know, because they created a problem with the immigration, and now they're
under the cover of smoke now too. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah, and they, you know, they defunded the police in these places to create a problem, and there's a reaction, and now the solution is to bring the military in. And when you think about, like, would the military turn on their own people? And it's like, you just station them in other places.
I think that's
or you bring in the UN, right?
Or you bring in the UN, or you bring in Trojan horse. You bring in Trojan horse soldiers as immigrants, just flooding through.
Or they expand the army of the World Economic Forum, who have the horses with, like, goat horns on them, and, like, they're dressed in
the color
like,
orange.
Well, that's the UN, you know. I mean,
orange is the color of death.
Because that was one of the things that happened in the Canadian trucker thing, was that they were seeing, like, UN troops there.
Yeah,
you know, they weren't.
Well,
they
there
didn't
was that.
speak.
There was that protest where there was those, like, oh man, I could pull that up. I have everything organized now. There was that protest where they had no insignia on these fucking guys. They had shields. They were full in riot gear. They had the batons, you know. And there was no insignias. There was no patches. There was nothing on them.
Blank.
So you guys brought it up. What do you think about the whole Project Zephyr?
As a free speech enthusiast and someone who enjoys the rights of other people who can do what we do, you know, have this on your radar. Don't let it make fear of a fucking big thing. Don't let it consume you. Just, it's one of the millions of things out there to fucking watch for.
Yeah, I think it's very real. It's happening. It's happening.
It's funny because, like, last year or something, my dad said to my wife, he's like, how, you know, living with him, you know, if they come. My dad's, like, not even, like, into conspiracies or anything like that. You know, he watches the news and cleans carpets. But he was talking to her about if they come for him, you know, with what he says. What he fucking like.
Oh, we're all gone. Anybody with a podcast is gone in this community, you know,
We're already marked.
at that point. So this is interesting. You mentioned orange before, Chris, as being the color of death. And we
Yeah.
just saw some crazy shit in New York with orange. And I
Mhm.
found this post. This is from, I think it's Tiffany the Truther or whatever.
Hi, Tiffany.
And listen to this shit.
Okay, guys, so I'm at the gym this morning, sitting in the sauna. I hear this girl talking about how she left New York. And of all people, I'm like, of course. I'm like, why? What's going on? Oh, what do you do for work? She works for the Department of Defense. So, okay, you know your girl's like, okay, tell me all the things. So when all of this went down with the fires up in Canada, she was told about this actually days and days before it happened. And she left New York because supposedly this was supposed to shut down the city for 2 weeks. They didn't want to make it too out of control, but at the same time, they wanted to make an impact so we can blame it on climate change and then, of course, go towards like the digital currency, the 15-minute cities. And at the end of the day, she's like, it's all about overpopulation, which we already knew. By the way, I thought it was funny too. She mentioned she didn't take the you-know-what, and that she said the only one that is going to fix this is Trump. Let me know what you think about all this.
Yeah, of course.
I went to the government, so
Yep.
I kind of.
That was a catch.
What do you do? You said you had clients and stuff yesterday?
Yeah, listen. I have seen some, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this just like we knew the city was gonna close down.
New York, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we knew New York was gonna get closed down way before it was announced to the public. That's why I was able to get out of New York.
Yeah.
2 weeks to slow the spread.
Right?
Trump would be an orange Trojan horse, no?
Trump
Well,
is the orange jester.
interesting
Yeah.
enough, I found this when I was, because I started looking into it. I'm like, this forest fire shit's kind of weird. So
It's
then
a
I started
false
looking up
flag. Like, oh my god.
some old documents.
Sorry.
Guess what you can
It's pretty
find?
funny.
An old ARPA project.
As a military weapon. I like
Forest fire as a military weapon from June of 1970.
that. He just cloud seeded just perfectly.
Yeah. And look, they even have the planes flying overhead. Now, they use this as an excuse that they were going to, use it in Vietnam. But what I found interesting was this little piece right here. It says
They did use it in Vietnam, didn't they?
soil applications. Apply 15 pounds of picarum pellets per acre. And then it
Wait
says
a minute.
dates.
Picarum pellets.
Yeah. So then
It's a
it says
picarum pellet.
it's like a incendiary thing.
Okay.
So then it says
Well, I mean, it was pellets that fell out of that train, they said.
ammonium nitrate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says here's their plan: spray in late June and repeat spray in August if needed, or apply pellets in April or May. Which May is when that thing went missing. And then it says burn during dry weather, November or December, if the vegetation is dead. Otherwise, wait and burn in March or April. And it says under the Mediterranean climate, which has a definite dry summer burn period, timing of spraying and burning is similar to CLHUSB. Hong Kong is similar to Hanoi, FFHUSB. And then it has all these different charts of different territories.
Picarum pellets. What is the fucking go up again? What's that? How do you spell that?
It's PICLORAM.
Pellets. It just that one really jumped out there because the fucking ammonium,
Yep.
How the fuck can't they see a trail of pellets?
Yeah.
So it's
30 tons of fucking pellets. You can't find the trail in between two pieces of steel. What are we talking about, man?
Yeah, it's a herbicide.
Right.
Wait a minute. A herbicide? So
It says-
ammonium
Oh, of course
nitrate,
it is.
right?
Yeah,
It's
look at
ammonium nitrate,
Yeah.
dude.
Exactly.
Shut the
That's
fuck
wild.
up, dude.
Yeah, that's fucking
Picarum
wild.
is a systematic herbicide and functions as plant growth regulator in order to control established and woody plants in agricultural settings and industrial sites. It is applied primarily on pasture and rangeland, followed by forestry areas.
Hard Rock, ladies and gentlemen, it's right there in fucking front of you.
Yeah.
It says, yeah, picloram is formulated either as an acid or as a potassium salt. The active ingredient can be applied via broadcast or spot treatment direct to the plant foliage or in the soil. It can be used as a basil bark spray treatment. Picloram has manufactured either alone or as a part of a mixture with other ingredients or combinations of all. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. Unbelievably
safe?
believable.
So, any of you that have any suspicions about the fires now,
There's
my
a train
question,
track on that one. That's funny.
my question is,
It's a lot of symbolism.
why
Holy shit.
was it orange in New York City, yet the smoke came from Canada, came down New York State, it wasn't orange there, came through Massachusetts and Connecticut, wasn't orange here,
Was
and
not.
all of a sudden it settles in the city and it is a bright orange color.
You're fucking kidding. Man.
Well, maybe it was drawn to a signal.
Well, the bright orange thing, it's kind of tough. Like people were talking about the bright orange, and then I made a comment on Twitter about pre-COVID, the Australian fires were orange. Is this pre-COVID too? With these orange fires, and then someone's like, "That's a good point. No one's ever seen or can't." No, it was either I said we can't find. Nobody's ever found other fires that are orange, and someone said that's a good point, and then I looked it up and it's like, oh shit, every fire is orange. Like, smoke's orange as fuck.
Yeah, but the smoke's orange there at the site, not hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's fucked.
So,
and then it just like disappeared,
It's like
right?
the
It
fires
just
in
fucking-
New York.
And that's why I was so interested in it, because I started again, my retarded conspiracy brain starts thinking about it, and it's like, okay, well, what's the symbolism of orange?
Right.
And it's like, so you start looking at it's bright, happy, uplifting, and then however it can be too bright and overwhelming. Orange tends to be a controversial color. People either tend to love it or hate it, and there's all sorts of psychological meanings to the color
hazardous
orange.
color.
I happen to like anything paired with purple. Orange goes.
Yeah. And it's like orange is
man
happy.
bad.
And it's very interesting how you start looking at it, and it's and one of the things I found interesting right here, one of the symbolism of orange, pride.
Dude. Yeah.
It's like, you start connecting the dots and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, and you're looking at the indictments this week too, with Trump.
Yep.
The orange man.
Again.
Yeah, the orange man.
The orange man, yeah. And it's just like, man, how many times can we, call this shit out as it's obviously some sort of orchestrated, right? It's not natural.
Yeah, they put it
by
in
any
your
means.
face. Well, it is. They're fucking vampires, man. Like we've all said a million times, they hide the truth in plain sight, right? You invite them in. That's what we do.
Yep.
We do it out of fear, and we invite them in. We do what we're told.
Dude.
See, my thing is now I see this shit and I just start laughing.
Yeah,
because I'm
it
like,
is.
this
Yeah,
is
it's
fake.
laughable.
Like, they've pushed it so far that I don't believe anything. Like, I don't believe anything they put out anymore because they've lied. It's like,
It's like the thing with the aliens. If you don't believe it, you're a conspiracy nut.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Like, huh? Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
It's like, it
Inverted.
fucking sucks. It's one of the worst, shittiest. It's about as shitty as the Nashville shooting.
Dude, but like,
There, I said it.
dude,
Fucking horrible.
No, you're right on though.
Well, I mean, there's no bullets. If there's no bullets, there's no bodies, no blood, no dead people.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
that's why there's no manifesto.
Yep. Yeah. And with the whole
I
alien
broke
thing,
that
man,
shit down, and people really pissed about it.
Speaking of manifestos,
really, yeah. Well,
RIPs.
people get pissed because they're ignorant, you know.
Speaking of manifestos,
Well, I
RIP
mean, like
Kaczynski.
there's no bullets. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man.
Right.
There's no bullets.
yeah, there's none.
There's no bullets.
What were we going to say about Manifesto?
Speaking of manifestos, RIP Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah.
Uncle Ted,
yeah,
rest
the
in
second.
power. Supposedly he died by suicide.
Yeah. Yeah.
supposedly fucking Epstein himself, huh?
Yep.
Right.
That's the report because he had
enough. He
cancer.
was like, it is too gay in this motherfucker.
Why would he wait till he's 81?
It got really gay in there, and he was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
But has anybody been more spot on
No.
than him in that manifesto? He has nailed everything that's going on in the past 20 years.
Yeah, he was right.
No, and like
He was
who all
right.
got put on a list that said like hashtag RIP Uncle Ted? They all got put on a list.
Oh yeah.
That's like the surveys on or the polls on Twitter. It's a trap.
Huh.
You know, they're like, who here is still unvaxxed? It's like, that's a trap.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. 1000%, man.
That's a fucking trap. Who here fucking whatever retweet it? That's a trap.
Oh,
Yeah.
And people retweet and retweet it.
Project Zephyr, man.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
they're gonna fucking they it's like they want a war, right? So they fucking got all these old white people to kill themselves with the vaccine, right? We can say that, right? Or eat that out.
Nah, you can totally
Can I
say it.
say it on here?
Of course you can. There's
Anyways,
no censorship.
No, they
Yeah,
just
say
murdered,
it.
you know, like the old people with the vaccine, right? Like when you really think about it, like I have this clip that I put together. I don't have it pulled up. I wasn't thinking about it, but it's this fucking an ex CDC lady who was at the head of vaccine propaganda or some shit. She's like, you know, if it really came down to it, who we need to get rid of, the hesitant ones, not the hesitant ones, because the hesitant ones, we can get them to basically, you know, we can coerce them into it and stuff. It's really, we just need to get rid of all the white people in America, right? Because they're the most headstrong about it. But then when you look at this thing that went down, it's like the majority of people who lined up to put a vaccine in their body was white people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right? Black
Yeah,
people don't want
black
nothing to
people
do
aren't
with it.
playing around.
Yeah,
after
that's
Tuskegee.
true.
You know, they didn't even mention Mexicans or anybody from, you know, Central America or anything like that. They didn't even give a shit. You could just like come in and do whatever you want.
Yeah, well, they
It was
know
the
they
Europe-
know a little bit about a little bit.
Yeah, and it's the
They,
European whites too, you know, because
yeah.
if you look at Russia, they weren't really taking it. You
Nope.
know, it's those European whites that they want to kill off. They're the same people who created this.
And then
realm.
they did the DNA grab.
Yep.
And you know that Great Awakening movie just came out. I was trying to find it. Now I can't find it. It got released on Twitter. Now I can't fucking find it because I finally got a downloader on my phone, so I can just download these videos. Instead, I've got like 35 gigs of videos that are screen mirrored or, you know, screen recorded. So they're like in these weird shit with the color up and down. I got to cut them, you know, crop them. Oh my God. What a fucking pain in the ass.
Dude, why
Right,
can't
but
they create a screen record where you can adjust it as you're recording?
I did that whole
Or
this
just
whole
when you
live
hit
shit.
crop it, you just hit a thing and it just goes boop and
Yep.
it crops.
Every time it goes to full screen on you guys' end, I gotta shrink it back down. And every time it goes back to the screen, I gotta pull it back up. Doing it live. Fuck it.
It
Fucking
gets
doing it fucking
Raw dog.
Thanks for that.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, so they fucking, you know, basically murdered off some white people. They stole everybody's DNA. Anyways, the Great Awakening. So they put the Great Awakening thing out, you know, and they had a big premiere of it or something, I think in like Houston or some shit. And I happened to click on it and I just was skimming through it, just flying through it, you know, flipping on pieces, see what's up, you know, and it come to this piece where they're like, yeah, the DNA grab with the, you know, the fucking swabs and shit. And like, dude, I was like the only motherfucker saying this shit, like right from the fucking beginning. I was telling all my listeners, do not get a fucking test because they're taking your fucking DNA.
Yep.
Don't get a test. Don't get a test.
It's
right?
either that or those swabs were laced and they were putting something in you.
I don't know about that. Like people are like, well, they're shoving microchips up into your brain and shit. Maybe.
No,
Possibly.
not that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
heard
open
it's
to
like
anything.
toxic-
Luciferians and shit like
Yeah,
that.
there was a toxin. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, almost anything that they fucking make and package and mass produce is some sort of toxin. I mean, we've seen the video of them making
Yeah.
the mask in Indonesia, and they're like rubbing them on the floor to make sure you can't breathe through them. They have the one vape thing where, like, as
Yeah.
they're going by the conveyor, the kids like fucking vaping the fuck out of all of them. You know, and it's the vape that everybody runs around with, this weird little pink one or something. But yeah, it's it was a fucking DNA grab, man. I mean, they even came out at one point and was like, we caught some Chinese had created, these companies that were trying to, steal the DNA.
I've had my DNA since I was like 17.
Well, dude, even beyond that, they use the 23andMe thing too.
Well,
Yes,
Ancestry.
But
Ancestry
during
got
COVID
bought
and
by
all that shit,
BlackRock.
if you noticed, pre-COVID, Ancestry and Me and 23andMe and all those DNA tests, plus the Alexa, the fucking Ring, any type of surveillance thing, voluntary surveillance and voluntary DNA relinquishment, that was every Christmas, right? That was every fucking every other commercial on Christmas. Every other fucking ad that would pop up on your websites and shit was something about 23andMe or Ancestry.
Yeah.
You gotta get the Ancestry and look at the Alexa. Oh, now the Alexa's $10 for everybody. Oh, look at the fucking Ring. Look at the, and then COVID come around and then that shit stopped because they don't fucking need it anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
They got the majority of what they needed. They found their golden blood. They found their RH negatives. They found whatever that bloodline is that's been trying, is this the covenant, if that even exists, the covenant is the blood.
I call it the dragon bloodline.
The dragon bloodline, yeah, man.
Because there's actually a bunch of stuff out there saying that that's what has taken place, back in the beginning of the church.
Like the black nobility and all that?
A little bit, yeah. It's not just black. It was a certain bloodline, and it was
Jesus's.
Jesus' bloodline, right?
Jesus was part of it, and the interesting
Adam's blood. Adam goes to Adam. If you follow the lineage of Adam, it goes into Jesus,
and it wasn't only white. It was black. It was brown. They had different races, different colors of it in the bloodline, so it was all encompassing. And that's why when they did the big thing with when they sent, what was it, George or whatever, to Ireland to get rid of the snakes, it wasn't to get rid of snakes because there are none there. It was to get rid of a bloodline, and the Gnostics essentially were that bloodline. And it breaks down into like this whole, what I've looked into is that they kind of reverse things. Like vampire isn't really like a vampire as we know it. It was part of that bloodline. The elves, the elven people were part of that bloodline. The fairies were part of that bloodline, and the fae folk. And that's why they went after them. And there was this, they called it the Elven Holocaust that the church undertook to try and get rid of these bloodlines.
That's where the Dracula bloodline was dragon, right?
Yes, exactly.
Given all the nerds out there, boners talking about the Elven Wars.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Don't stop. I'm not trying to sidetrack you, dude.
No, and it's wild because then you look at Lord of the Rings, and has a lot of these themes and ideas, concepts in it.
House of the Dragon.
We know the truth that's put out in movies, in little bits and pieces here and there, and it's one of those where I haven't researched it enough to really buy into it, but they make some good cases.
Yeah.
Man, I just had Andy on talking about Bach Saga.
Yes.
Which isn't the same thing at all, but that whole fucking thing is fucking... I got to go back and watch all those Jim Chestnut fucking videos again. And
I'm on the fence with that because it's like, I think in some instances I agree with it.
I want to go to Finland.
Yes.
And see, Sean Hibbler wants to film a documentary about like Tartaria, stuff from the past, right? And he's talking Tartaria and stuff, and it's like, should go there. And
you think, why were there two world wars over there? It was to
start there and
destroy infrastructure, to destroy bloodlines, to reset.
You could start at like the Bach, end up into like the World's Fairs and those resets into where we're at, and you can do it in 120 minutes.
Oh, that's a killer flick right there. If you come up with that,
because I know Howdy Mikowski's down.
Yeah,
I've talked to him about it.
Have you really?
Yeah, because especially the World's Fairs. I talked to Howdy about doing the World's
Yeah,
Fairs
he's
thing
like all
because
up in
like
that shit.
has to be done. You know, I talked to him over a year ago. You know, I know he's totally down for it. You know, it's just like where do we start with it? Because like he said, we've got to go to these places, so we're gonna have to fund. You know, to be able to go to like Chicago and a couple of these places where these landmarks are and where these things took place to demonstrate the size of these things and just like where they were at. And anyways, I just feel like for me, like I've been the etymology stuff and the history stuff I've been like really deep into for the etymology for 15 years now. uh and like getting into like the occult and the Saturn shit and the bull worship and El and all that shit, you know.
Yep.
And it was like
Saturn.
everybody's like it's inverted, and it's like how the fuck did it get inverted? What the fuck? Where was the fucking inversion? And then I started learning about Bach, and it's like, oh my god, all the like this missing piece and all this little shit is like this fucking box worked in there somehow, and it's like, oh my god.
See, and
Like
that's
what
why
the
I think it's so amazing. It all blends in together to start giving you that clearer picture of what happened and how.
yeah. Yeah, that I mean, and which it was the beginning of what shit, what was the word that Andy used? Not hedonism. But you know, back paganism, or you know, like I mean, that's what it was. I mean, they it was the sun, you know, gave them life, the body, the seed, you know, natural things, you know. So I mean, it was the beginning of that into, and then somewhere it was inverted, and then like what Andy was saying last night, there's some place over there where they actually speak the language.
Wow.
They speak the root language that he just found out about, that they actually speak the root language. And it's not like they heard Eeyore Bach, you know, 20 years ago, and then everybody learned the fucking language. And then, you know,
Yeah,
no, and then when you show them Bach Saga, it's just like, oh yeah, fucking, it just clicks right together. And it's just a crazy story. And I just feel like there's been some documentaries and shit on it, but like they've got that temple not open. They haven't gotten to the temple, but they've busted through what 3 blocks of granite, just like Eeyore said would be in this fucking thing. They found an axe in there, and now Andy was saying they may have found human carvings inside this thing. So I don't know, man.
That's fucking fascinating, man.
It is. And when these things like, and like I was the other night I was looking at Carl Borgen's first book on Bach Saga, and just looking at that Alpha Berta. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but the alphabet. And realizing the I, you know, is that lowercase with the dot on it, because it's represents the North Pole, the pole, and the dot represents Polaris, but it also represents the penis and the vagina.
Yep.
Of a like and then it's like, oh my god, we're going into the trans thing and the transhuman thing, and you get clear back to there, and it's just like, what the fuck? But it's not like speaking of like a trans thing, it's just the way it's like,
it's a phallus.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a phallic symbol. It's the fucking penis going into the vagina, if you want to look at it that way. It's like, it's, you know, it's a lot of symbolism, you know.
Which is so fucking predominant.
Well,
it all comes back to bull worship. It all comes back to some sort of fucking horns, right? Because even in Bach Saga, the creation story is of the goat and the monkey, Freya and Frey, right? Freya and Frey, creating the zygote, which that's what happens when in conception, right? It's first a zygote, and then it goes through the process to become a child or a kid, which is what
a baby goat,
a goat, right? And that kid might grow up to become what? A fucking greatest of all time, or he may become a scapegoat or a black sheep. You know, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, the word
What the
magic.
fuck,
Dude,
dude?
arguably the greatest of all time in basketball would be Michael Jordan, right? And you can get dude, there's so many like six symbolism with Michael Jordan, his draft pick, his numbers, even when he was even when he switched his number from 23 to 6 and 42. But yeah, he's on the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls mascot is a
Prince of
horn
Air,
with
Nike,
fucking blood on it.
You know, Nike is a you know, and is it Mithras slayed the bull? You know, there's a video on my Rumble. It's called Michael Jordan, Prince of Air.
Oh, no way.
Nice.
I took. Well, it's Christopher Lord. It's from 2013. It's only like parts 2 and 3, I think. He would do these videos.
Oh,
this is where all my etymology stuff started, right? Etymology, the root of words, and and etymology, root of language, right? And then what is the alpha? Fuck, I need to learn how to say that. That is the root language, right? It comes from the tree of knowledge, or logic, log, right? The log, the wood. Anyways, I'm gonna lose my fucking train of thought of what I was talking about. I think I already did.
No, you're
what
good.
Was I talking about?
You're good.
What was I talking about though?
The air, Michael, the Jordan video.
Oh yeah.
Swoosh
Where I got my etymology stuff was back in like 2012ish, 2013. I can't remember when YouTube started. 2010ish, maybe.
Right around
when YouTube
there.
Started.
Yeah.
Even up until 2013. You could only put like 10-15 minute fucking videos on there, right? So Christopher Lord would do these fucking like 3-4 hour long like PowerPoint presentations and these etymologies, like the gods of the Bible, which all is bull worship. That's why it's the Bible. Anyways, it all comes to bull worship, and the one thing that was missing is the fucking Box Saga. And I keep messaging Christopher Lord like, you gotta fucking check out Box Saga, because like it's this fucking piece that's fucking missing, man. And it goes to the horns because the goat and the fucking monkey, which then you take the goat and the monkey and you look at Baphomet, which Baphomet came long after that shit. It kind of it could be perceived as a goat and a monkey type, like a monkeyless type.
A simian,
thing,
a simian goat.
But Christopher Lord, he did. I had to go on Odyssey, and on his Odyssey has all the videos because his YouTube's been fucking banned so many times. And on his Odyssey, if you go to Truth Theory, because conspiracy is con, it's right in the name, con, and spiracy is spiral, so it's a spiral of lies because con is lies, right? So it's truth theory, right? And if you go to Truth Theory 2 on Odyssey, you'll say all of his videos are on there, but they're all out of fucking order. They're all in the fucking 10-15 minute blocks. So I went through and I downloaded every fucking video, like in the Gods of the Bible series. I fucking downloaded every single fucking video and then put them in order and made a full length of it and put that up. And I did that with the Jordan thing, and that's on my Rumble. And that Jordan thing is like, holy shit, man.
Beautiful.
And that's from 2013.
Wow.
Like just like you were talking about the 23, and it's
2
just
plus
like
1 and 3.
And then that new movie came out called Air.
Yep.
Right, and there's a part in there when Philip Knight, right? Was it Philip Knight, Kenneth Knight, whatever the fuck his name is? He looks at the camera and he's like, "We didn't name it Nike after we just picked it because we needed a 4-letter word that fucking worked, you know, it sounded cool. I fucking hate it. It's not because of, you know, some occult shit, you know." And then it's like, what the fuck, man? They literally like had to mention
think that I protest too
about
much.
that because they did. Back in 2013, like Christopher Lord's explaining how they fucking singled out Jordan specifically to be on the Bulls to fucking represent Nike. And it's like, that's crazy, man. That's wild. And then they come out with fucking Air, you know, and you hear the stories, you see the things, and then the Air shows it. Yes, they fucking went, they fucking did everything they could. They fucking they risked
all their eggs in that Jordan basket.
All their eggs in one basket, right? They even did it to the point where they've paid the fine every fucking game because they changed the color of the shoes to be able to, you know, they fucking did whatever they had to do to have the Prince of Air, right? And his contract was he had to be an MVP, he had to fucking do this, and he fucking exceeded all of it. And it's just this wild thing, because to me anymore, like you were saying, Matt, you can't believe anything, right? You can't believe any of the realities or anything, and it's like everybody's in on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
When you
you're
get to that
big,
level.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, if you get to that level, you practice magic. You have done something. You're doing some sort of thing. You're either in the echelons of these people, or you're practicing some sort of fucking magic.
Well, it's crazy
like-
you say that, Chris, because I was watching a video on Derek Jeter talking about his career the other day, and he kept saying over and over, I had to keep doing my rituals. My rituals are what kept me the player that I was. And it's like, what kind of rituals you doing there? It's not your work ethic.
That word, I haven't listened to a podcast for a while. I went back to driving. Usually I'm listening to podcasts fucking 12 hours a day, right? For some reason, I'm so busy editing videos and stuff while I'm doing, not supposed to be doing that, but I'm editing videos and shit. Well, I listened to the Tinfoil Hat with Hibbler.
Yeah.
And because I had him on, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
and,
I just listened to that one, actually.
Sweet, man. There was a read on there for this Buffalo some sort of like non-nicotine chew, but it's all about the rituals, man. Tripoli kept saying, you got your ritual. You want your ritual. Oh, XG, we love you, man. You got your ritual. I love your ritual. And it's like, oh, it's so fucking like cringe. It's really cringe to me, I know you got to do what you got to do. You got to fucking feed your family, especially if you live in California. You just bought a new fucking house there. I mean, you definitely got to fucking sell Buffalo Alice fucking whiskey or whatever the fuck you got to do.
Dude,
I'm just saying, it's just the word ritual, the way
it's tossed around.
This company put in, because I guess dipping is a ritual. I guess, smoking and stuff is a ritual. Any type of habit is technically a ritual. It's how you're using the ritual, I guess. If you're using it as some sort of magic or some sort of alchemy or something, I guess. I'm not
even your daily routine.
Yeah, but I mean, some people have rituals that fucking help them. I mean, and it's not all rituals are a bad thing. It's just people don't understand the ritual.
Well, they don't.
Well, it's magic.
A lot of people don't understand the origins of the ritual. And a lot of people try to explain away rituals by saying, well, it would be impossible because there's too many people involved.
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in religion.
Yeah,
I don't believe in this.
These things couldn't be a well-kept secret because there's too many people involved. But the point is, to anything like this, is people compartmentalize all these things. It's like saying, when people try to explain away 9/11, right? Well, and let's face it, 9/11 was a giant fucking ritual. And when people try to explain something like that away, they say, they couldn't have done that. There's just too many people that would have had to keep a secret. But that's not how it works. And even in a ritual or any high priestess order or any order, there's always somebody who's ahead of someone else, and the person below them only knows so much. They don't know what the person above them knows. So they compartmentalize all these things. So it's very easy to have a lot of moving pieces when everybody knows their job and their job only. Do you know what I mean? Do I sound fucking?
Yes. Oh, no.
I've had a little bit to drink.
What the right hand's doing, basically.
And it doesn't have to, and it can't. It can't know, right?
Yeah, and the machine can keep moving. The parts are moving what needs to be moved, so to speak. Like when you look at NASA, and the whole moon landing thing, how that could be faked. How could all these people, they all had a job. They all thought they were doing their fucking job.
Exactly.
It looks like the thing's going down to me, fuck yeah, we fucking did it, this is the fucking greatest thing ever, and then the couple people are like, I don't think this, they fucking shot him. They fucking killed him or whatever the fuck they needed to do. They fucking hung lemons and burned them in a fucking thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or they fucking died of heart attack guns or fucking,
But they like you're saying, they compartmentalize, right? So it's, you only know a certain part of it. There's only a select few that know the whole plan.
Exactly.
Whereas
it's
these people
a sleight of hand. It's a yeah.
And if you know more than you know, then you disappear.
Yep.
That guy that was hanging lemons on what was that, the Apollo 13? Is that what that was? Or
John Gershom?
Yeah, he held a
Was it
lemon
Herschel?
on the spaceship because he knew that it was going to explode when they fucking took off.
Yeah, that they
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
filled it full of oxygen and locked the door and blew him up.
Yeah, man.
Fucking horrible.
Like if you know too much, well, that's it. And you know, like that's how they MK.
That's what they
Ultra
did with
people.
Kennedy. That's
Yeah.
what they did with January 6th. That's what they.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at Kennedy, you know, he said he'd shattered he'd splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. You know, one of his most famous speeches. You know, talking about the word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. You know, and these shadow networks and governments are shadow networks are running our governments, and he was going to destroy it. And what did they do? They fucking made a ritual, and then they fucking. They clapped him. They blew his fucking head
every
off.
part
it
of
was
that.
a king's sacrifice.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you know, and then they did it to his brother.
Yep.
You know, now you have a third generation, second generation, I guess, coming out, and you know, they just pulled down his Michael Jackson thing. I have Michael Jackson on the brain, but Mike Tyson's podcast episode with RFK down because
I heard that.
he talks 10 minutes of like, I was there, and then there was 3 shots, and then they shot a 4 over here. And then, you know, it's like, holy shit. Like, he's literally telling a firsthand account of this dude, Sirhan Sirhan, did not shoot his father.
Yeah.
You know, he shot someone behind him and then unloaded the rest of the fucking revolver somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the guy behind him shot him fucking twice? In the back.
That was the driver.
So he was talking about. I heard the Tyson podcast got taken down. That's what was being talked about.
He was talking about his
I
dad.
mean, there was a 10-minute piece where he is giving. I've never heard like a firsthand account. I mean, he was there.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was a firsthand account of exactly what happened, and he told in detail. You know, he's seen it with his own eyes that that dude went over his dad's shoulder, shot the guy behind, not the guy that shot him, shot someone else behind him, and then the dude behind him shot him 2 or 3 times in the back.
How fucking
Insane. I mean, and then like the Kennedy, just the assassination and the magic bullet and the fucking like they had to bring in someone to like try to construct his face because they fucked his head up so fucking bad. Like,
well, and then you think about Ted and Massapequa, right? He had that crash where he killed that girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, they say there's the Kennedy curse, but I was thinking too, that song Cult of Personality, when they talk about that leader speaks, that leader dies. You know,
and Live in Color. Yeah.
I think it's crazy with Robert, you know, RFK. I don't even know how to call it. Robert RFKJ, right? How I could not listen to him because like he always sounds like he's lost his voice and he's losing it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like screaming.
Vaccine injury.
I used to scream, you know, in bands, and every once in a while I'd start to lose the voice and fucking like that when you're at that, you know, it's painful and it's annoying as fuck because you can't talk.
Well, that's his vaccine injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he happens to get a fucking surgery that makes it so you can tolerate listening to him. His voice sounds better with no time off.
Yeah.
Right. You know, after like screaming for 30 minutes, you need to take like the night off. So if you're doing that every fucking night, this guy fucking has a surgery on on vocal cords that are fucked up, and then goes right into campaigning to be president. Podcast, talking.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about any debates, so that's a good thing.
There's no fucking debates.
What
in
is
this
that?
Dude, I got a hot take. On this upcoming presidential election. Now, so Trump was a Democrat in the 80s and early 90s, and he's you know, he was supposedly friends with John Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a really hot take, but I'm going to say it right now. If Trump and all this indictment shit, if all this stuff works out to the point where he can't run, which I kind of don't think that will happen, but if he can't run, I am predicting now that he will be the first Republican candidate to back a Democratic candidate, which will be RFK. I'm just throwing that out there in case it happens. You can call me crazy. That's fine. I am.
And on top of
I'm
that,
just saying.
And I'll put money on top of that, where all those Republican voters will fucking vote Democrat.
I will go with that. Because it backs my theory.
And and for all we know,
easier for the machines to fucking do their thing. I mean, if they could get them to vote on a blue ticket,
that means you're fucking played, like right there.
Could be.
Well, I mean, just going and voting, you're already pretty played there. Just the whole fucking
That's
voting.
true.
I don't see us even making it to 2024.
What do you think's
The
going
shit
to
that's
happen?
coming out on Biden now, and like,
Let's get some hot takes. What do you think's going to happen?
Economy done. 2024.
they're gonna shut the fucking lights off. When are they gonna shut the lights off? It looks like they're gonna suspend the vaccine. They're gonna come out and tell us, hey, the vaccine fucked y'all up. Sorry, but it was that guy.
Sure.
The guy that we just indicted, and it's a nothing burger. It was definitely that guy did it. You know, and all of his people, Fauci, all of them, his whole administration, and actually Biden did it too. Biden fucking pushed it. That bitch pushed it. You know. Might as well reset this thing, you know, because all of them are fucking bitches, you know, and you know, but
why would the rats
coming
jump
next?
ship,
The
though?
new vaccine we've been working on the last 3.5 years. We're getting enough time. This time it's going to work, guys. This time, but it looks like I had predicted that they were going to suspend the vaccine by late spring, early summer, which is basically what has happened. They suspended J&J. They've made it to where no boosters. If you haven't had a vaccine, go ahead and not get a vaccine. And if you have had one, you never need a booster ever again. So don't ever get a booster. I mean, they're fucking telling you that.
Yeah.
But did you
now? What's that?
Did you happen to see the shit about that Biden pulled the other day? They had like college athlete day at the White House.
Wear a mask. The unvaccinated.
It's all
psyop. It's all this.
I didn't see that. So he's still saying that?
It's another thing to add on with like the fires and stuff, right? Because when the fires are happening, then it comes into the climate lockdown type thing. You know, like they were talking, they want to lock down for 2 weeks, which I had to write down. I have this video I was going to put together because it goes together with the climate thing and then the 2 weeks to slow the spread. There's something that they were saying that Hochul was saying, and that Mayor Adams, I don't know what his name is. Yeah, he released a PSA, which you could tell. Dude, they're releasing it that day. I mean, you could do it. They do it on TikTok and shit, but I believe it was already ready. It was already like that woman says, which you can only take that TikTok for a grain of salt, you know, that type of shit. And that's what drives me crazy, you know, with like let's take the alien thing in Vegas. You know, everybody keeps sharing these videos like, oh, this is real. This is, you know, look at when we enhance, they're sitting inside the forklift and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, they're not even, it's like they want to be right so bad. They don't give a shit, you know, if it is shit. The mainstream media is running with it. So we might as well run with it. And like, it's this Jussie Smollett thing that they're just going to take and rub in the truther community face. Just another thing to help stop the misinformation, this lockstep of ending the misinformation and the Restrict Act.
Yeah,
that's what it's headed to. Like every fucking country talking about misinformation. I've been meaning to make a montage of that, of all of them talking about misinformation on the web, misinformation through your friends. Just someone that says, why don't you stew on that for a minute? Well, they're a Nazi now. He said it right on the fucking, right on the local news. Some words that you may need to, some phrases you may need to look out for. Why don't you stew on that a minute?
You should totally
saying that to someone.
Meanwhile,
that watches the news and eats that stuff, like old people in a nursing home dying from.
Meanwhile,
you know,
their interest
or whatever.
rates are going up. Their fucking prices are going up around them until the point where this fucking dollar don't matter anymore. And
we're definitely frogs in a pot. There's everybody's in a boiling pot.
Boiling.
Pots are boiling,
and
right?
you actually
they're like fucking floating. There's a lot of people in there floating upside down.
You had spoken about some of those people pointing fingers at each other, being like, "Yo, that was her. That was her that pushed that shit. You saw that." You know,
that's what they're doing right now.
And at the same time,
Zuckerberg just came out and was like, "Well,
that's the kind of behavior. That's the kind of behavior when you're about to jump ship." And I have a good theory. Like, you know, one of the end game things could be it's like we're a lost cause. This place we call America. They'll just like drive it into the rocks. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, you guys were talking
what's
about
already being done.
you were talking about the Mockingbird shit. Here's one clip from Rogan on it.
You ever seen that video where it shows local news people? I'll send it to Jamie. It's local news people all saying like the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's really weird. That's it.
To serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are concerned about trouble plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media
dangerous to our democracy.
Saying fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
This is fucking scary.
Yeah.
This is the scariest.
Well, that's propaganda.
What do you think that's going on, Howie?
Dude, I saw them. They made that clip was out months before they released that documentary, In the Shadows.
Out from the Shadows?
Out of Shadows, yeah.
I still gotta watch that.
Yeah. That and I think that I think that documentary got I think that is a very underrated documentary.
What's that one?
It touched down on it talked everything about MK Ultra. It actually did a really good job. It was like a 45-minute documentary that really
was the guy who was the stunt man.
Yes.
Who he was a Hollywood stunt man, and he basically turned on Hollywood. And
are you talking about the dude who, when he explains why they wear the apron and how the apron has the all-seeing eye over the penis because the penis is the all-seeing eye?
I don't think so. It might be the same guy, but it wasn't in that documentary. But that could be the same guy.
Okay. I know he sat doing just a one-on thing, just talking, and it was like, holy shit. Like, god damn, I didn't even think of that.
Well, Out of Shadows got really, I think it got dive bombed by people who didn't want it to be out because it had a lot of just factual information, and it really showed the public what MK Ultra was all about. And it talked about, like, you know, Satanism in Hollywood, but then it got into like the adrenochrome thing, and right around that time it was like the 2016 election, and I think it got lumped in with the whole QAnon fucking psyop and shit, so it just disappeared.
Oh, you nailed it, because I just pulled up an article to laugh about it. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Inside the bonkers Hollywood pedophilia documentary QAnon Love.
Yeah, see that right there, man. Like, see, I'm
gonna have to watch this now. I mean, like,
I never tried. I always thought QAnon was a psyop, but I gotta say, like, that particular documentary, Out of Shadows, did a pretty good job.
77 minutes.
Is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's former Hollywood stuntman Mike Smith. And it alleges, among other things, that Hollywood is run by satanic pedophile rings that distribute propaganda through films like Zoolander, music videos like Katy Perry and Lady Gaga, a discrete set of symbols, including the word television, tell-a-vision, channel, psychic communication. In Hollywood, they say the name for a holly plant, which is poisonous and was once used in Druid
literally
rituals.
The only
which is true though
thing you can get is this bonkers article.
Yeah,
well, you see some of that, a lot of the and that's how any successful psyop works though, right? They tell you the truth and then they muddy the water with bullshit. But I gotta say, that documentary was mostly not bullshit.
No, it was spot on. It was them. It was firsthand knowledge of calling out.
Okay,
like
I did see
them
that.
going to like certain parties people would have, celebrities would have, and shit they would do at the parties, and all dark shit, real. And it dealt with the pedophilia. It dealt with child trafficking, and just the darkness of Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, and within that 70, that's kind of ironic that it's 77 minutes and the guy's name's Mike Smith. But regardless of that, I think they did a really good job of telling the story because it used facts and it used court documents and it was not dealing with opinions or it was dealing with facts. I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
Yeah, and they fucking hate that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They hate when you show documents and facts and shit.
They use that.
That's why I like doing video. That's why I like doing video, because I like to show my work, Yeah,
and
show what I'm talking about, that I ain't just fucking bullshitting. Here's what I'm talking about. Here's what it is.
You guys think FOIA is legit?
What's weird is that article about the bonkers documentary. When you're going through it, I'm looking for a link. I click on a link, and what does it give me? It gives me this fucking how America's largest local TV owner turned its news anchors into soldiers in Trump's war on the media.
Yep.
It's talking about that Sinclair clip.
Yep. Dude, yeah, when you were mentioning FOIA, I think FOIA is a hunk of shit because they'll give it to you when they want to.
What's
right?
FOIA?
Freedom of Information Act, and you can request, documents.
Oh, they call it FOIA. I know the Freedom of
And they
Information
just give you a bunch
Act,
of blacked out fucking
redacted
they'll
shit.
give you what they want to give you. You know, it's you're never gonna get what you really need. They'll give you enough to let you run a little bit, but not enough to run the full marathon.
It's like the 9/11 Commission report.
Bingo. Yeah. Sure. Hey, we gotta wrap it up here, but we got a little thing going, and I gotta get your opinion. So every week we talk about, would you rather fight to the death 5 raccoons at once or 1 bear of your weight?
Oh boy.
And this is a fight to the death.
I'm going with the bear.
And no weapons. It's just you and Mother Nature.
I'm going with the bear.
You're taking the bear.
I'm taking the bear.
Out.
Wait, are the raccoons rabid?
No diseases, nothing. It's just 5 raccoons, like 30-pound raccoons, normal size raccoons.
Not like
common question.
Ricky the Rocket.
Well, I mean, at least I know how many limbs that one thing has. If I have multiple limbs coming at me with multiple brains, I have to react in multiple ways. At least I can have a concise plan for one thing that's coming at me, my weight, 4 limbs,
With
I don't
knives,
if that makes any sense.
With knives on the end of their arms.
Weight?
Because I'm breaking that thing's kneecaps with my shin. I'll do it.
Oh.
Okay. Now, the bear, where I live, there's a town that has this, they had a skeleton of a bear, standing up.
Yeah.
And the little bone hooking its leg, its ankle together is very small.
All right.
Like, man, if you could sweep that motherfucker, I mean, if you could get a good, solid Joe Rogan slap on it.
Ryan would love to hear this.
Yeah, dude.
His plan of attack is to shove his fist up the bear's ass.
Hey. That'd be pretty cool.
The other
if you can make it that far, I guess.
I'll fucking fist a bear.
You want to shove your fist down its throat. I talked to a random missionary who was over in like Uganda or something. He was on stereo. No, he lives in Arkansas, but he's on a missionary thing, and he was like in Uganda. It was so random and so crazy, but he's like, yeah, I'm missing a finger and all. And it was like, I was out hog hunting, and the fucking, I turned around, this hog was just right on top of me, man. And there was nothing I could do, so I just shoved my hand down this hog's throat, man, and grabbed the back of its throat, and that hog squealed, and it fucking took off, man, and it took my finger with it. And I was like, what?
Can you imagine?
I was like, yeah, man, I fucking got to reach in there and fucking choke him. And there was some story of a Russian that a bear attacked his buddy, and then it attacked him, and that's what he did.
That's awesome.
I'm going to change my answer.
You're not sticking your hand down 15 raccoons' throats, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, dude,
I'm going to change my answer.
But the
from
finger
last
up the
time.
butt, that does work too. Seen it.
So what do you got?
I want it all. Give me the bear and the raccoons. You fucking for all of it.
Fucking
just give me all of it.
Oh,
You could almost
you're
nunchuck.
taking
You
all
could
the
almost
smoke,
nunchuck
huh?
2 raccoons. You grab them by the tail. And
Let
you
me
use
see
them
what
to
kind of
whack out.
environment it creates, and let's see how I can adapt to it.
Peter's gonna shut this down, man.
So what do you got,
fucking-
Chris?
Yeah, I would. I've thought about this. I've fantasized about fighting a bear often. I'm fighting the bear. I think little jujitsu moves.
Yeah, man.
I don't
fuck
think you
that
can
bear.
rear naked a bear, but if you had to, you're probably not gonna. It's not gonna work. You're gonna die.
You're not going to get its neck.
Your
There's really
best
no neck on
bet
a bear.
is to fucking shove your hand down that bear's throat
or up its ass, as Ryan would go.
or up its ass. And that
Whichever
works.
business end you choose.
Have you seen that video of the 2 dogs? There's pit bulls locked up fighting.
Yep.
And a dude just comes out of nowhere and shoves his finger up one's
Yep.
ass, and boom, Dogs
They
let
separate. That's the
Like-
example Ryan brings up every week. He's like, "Yep." He's like, "You ever seen that dog fight? Guy just comes in, sticks a finger in the dog's ass, and let's go."
That's a riot.
And he figures he needs a fist for a bear.
So I mean, it should happen. That should work for a bear too.
Fuck yeah, man.
You might
I
have
still
to
know,
get
like,
more
a
than
pit
8
bull's
fingers.
ass is like right there. I have a pit bull. Their tail is ass.
Yeah.
Fucking, a bear. I don't know. They got that little nub. It's at that point. It's probably like they already have had this happen.
Yeah.
So they've evolved to just have a nub that just blocks that spot.
It's a defense
when
mechanism.
they're fighting, dogs are fighting the tails up. They're really, they've got to use balance. A bear doesn't have balance. It doesn't need to use balance. So that little tail just flaps closed. It's like a submarine door or something on the old butthole.
Little gas tank.
I think that's what I learned they had to do, in the hibernation. They clamp the old tail shut.
Oh, shit. Guys, this has been awesome. Let's go around, tell people where they can find you. Chris, we'll start with you.
RainedOutRantcast.com. Every Sunday night. I'm on Rumble only now. If you go to my YouTube, if you can find it, whenever anything plays, it just directs you to Rumble.
Okay.
Rumble every Sunday night. And I think I'm going to start a nightly show every night at 8, I think, my time central. Because a 2-hour show once a week is just not enough for me. So
Dude, it sounds great.
I think that's what I'm going to do. But rainoutRantcast.com, you go there. There's the links. Last night's video is always on the homepage. This week's video with Andy. And then below that, you can find the episodes. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, the episode's always available every Monday.
Excellent, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Brian, where can we find you?
It's Hard Rock Life, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts usually. And our shit's up on Rumble.
Facebook, too.
Also, we got an old friend, Dan Lozzie, getting his own show. He had his own YouTube channel back in the day, and I was like, hey, man, I'll give you a mic any day. So we got Form Voltron featuring Dan Lozzie.
Nice.
Sweet.
You guys will have to get him to come on here sometime.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
Yeah.
We'll get a little threesome action there from your end.
Dan's a rad guy, very informative, and you guys.
He's a human and animal rights activist, very outspoken. He's always been up front, fucking taking a stand whenever everybody behind him has disappeared,
Yeah.
Sounds all too
When
familiar.
everybody behind you
Yeah,
steps
exactly.
back.
Yeah.
Always take that one step back.
Yep. Just
Happens
so
to me
you're
all
out.
the time in work, in jobs, and employment,
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
always talking shit about work, and when finally someone voices everybody's opinion, they all step back.
Exactly.
So we're not gonna.
No one
Thanks,
wants to
guys.
go first,
And
man.
you're talking just as the boss walks in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never fails. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I just got to give a quick shout out to Bill and Jim. I didn't know you could leave voice messages on Spotify, and they left voice messages, and I appreciate it. So you want to check out The Great Deception? I'm on the podcast feeds. You can find me on Instagram. Hit me up with DMs. Guys, this has been awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stay strong. Question everything.
Been a pleasure, man.
Peace.
Recording stopped.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was Monday Night Master Debaters.
Monday Night Master Debaters. Yeah, those dudes are awesome, man. Very informative, very smart.
I think we answered the bear question on the last time we were on that show.
Did we?
Yeah.
I hope I was consistent.
I think it was our copy of the show, too, so it was all echoey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
It was
okay.
glorious, glorious. If you go back into the history, there's another Monday Night Master Debaters, and the sound didn't come out too good on my end.
Fuck
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that was an excellent episode, and I'm glad we decided to do it. So, for all you listening, this is A Hard Rock Life, and we love ya.
Oh yeah, kill all the white man. Oh yeah, kill all the white man. The white man call himself civilized, 'cause he know how to take